Call of Abraham. Long ago, in the land of Ur, there lived a man named Abram. He was a man of great wealth and had a large family, but he had no children of his own. Abram had always prayed for a child, but the years passed and no answer came. Little did he know, God had a plan for him. One day, God called Abram and said, "Leave your country, your people, and your father's house, and go to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you." Without hesitation, Abram obeyed. He gathered his belongings and set out with his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and all the people he had in his household. Though the journey was uncertain, Abram trusted that God would lead him to the promised land. Abram traveled to the land of Canaan, and as he stood under the wide sky, God spoke to him once more. "To your descendants I will give this land," God promised. But there was one thing Abram did not understand. How could he become a father of a great nation when he had no children? Sarai, his wife, was barren, and they were both growing older. Yet Abram held on to the promise that God had made. He believed that God's plan was greater than his own understanding. Years passed, and Abram and Sarai remained childless. Sarai, frustrated and impatient, suggested that Abram have a child with her servant Hagar in hopes of fulfilling God's promise. Abram agreed, and Hagar bore him a son, Ishmael. But God had not forgotten his promise. He appeared to Abram again and said, "Your wife Sarai will bear you a son, and you will name him Isaac. Through him I will establish my covenant." At the age of 99, when Abram was too old to believe it was possible, and Sarai was 90, God's promise came true. Sarai conceived, and they named their son Isaac, meaning laughter, for both Abram and Sarai had laughed at the thought of becoming parents at such an old age. Years later, God tested Abram's faith in a way he could never have imagined. He called Abram to a mountain and told him, "Take your son Isaac, the son whom you love, and sacrifice him on the mountain I will show you." Though his heart was heavy with sorrow, Abram did not question God. He trusted that God had a reason, even if he didn't understand it. Early the next morning, Abram set out with Isaac, carrying the wood for the sacrifice. As they reached the top of the mountain, Isaac asked, "Father, where's the lamb for the sacrifice?" Abram replied, "God himself will provide the lamb, my son." Just as Abram prepared to sacrifice Isaac, an angel of the Lord stopped him, saying, "Do not lay a hand on the boy. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son." Abram looked up and saw a ram caught by its horns in the thicket. God had provided the sacrifice, just as he had promised. God spoke to Abram once more, saying, "Because you have obeyed me and have not withheld your son, I will bless you. I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand on the seashore. Through your offspring, all nations on earth will be blessed." And so, Abraham's faith was tested and proven true. He trusted God in all things, even when it seemed impossible. God's promises came to pass, and Abraham became the father of many nations. His story teaches us that even in the hardest of times, we must hold on to faith and trust in God's plan, no matter how uncertain the journey may seem.